Why do 80% of businesses in Rincon choose Rincon Rocks Radio? Because they know the power of ultimate promotion. Rincon Rocks Radio and Promotions is your ultimate partner for unbeatable marketing deals. Imagine this, for less than $5 a day, you get a quarter-page ad in our monthly digital and print books, featured on Amazon, plus a custom business video and daily social radio commercials. Sounds incredible, right? Need more? Upgrade to our half-page ad at $200 per month for a full 1-minute radio ad, a video that can be updated weekly, and half-page digital and print exposure. Talk about value. And if you want the full package, our full-page ad is less than $100 per week. That's personalized video, full-page print and digital ads, and live remote coverage with broadcasts every day of the week. Don't miss out on the chance to make your business shine. Contact Rincon Rocks Radio and Promotions at 1-787-546-3252 or visit rinconrocksradio.com. Let's rock your business together.
Live. We are live. Rincon Rocks Radio is live Tuesday, and it's Travel Tuesday with Dr. Robin James. Take it away, Dr. Robin.
Thank you, Cam. Good evening, listeners. Hi, it's Robin, and along with my business partner, Carolyn Renee, who is not with me this evening, we are RCR Global World Travel. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and or through our website and the phone number that you see here that's scrolling on the bottom, 833-477-7477. And of course, you can email us as well. Feel free to follow us, but most importantly, reach out to us for all of your travel needs. We are a boutique travel consultancy, and what that means is we provide end-to-end travel services, both domestically and internationally. We curate or we design customized travel experiences based upon you, the traveler's needs. We do offer travel packages that can be booked either individually or as a group, but with so many destinations, it's really impossible to curate that specific package that all travelers are seeking. Therefore, for the most part, our travel services are on demand. Demand based upon when you want to travel. Now that we have the business part out of the way, I'm glad to be back with you this week on this segment of Travel Tuesdays. Each week, I endeavor to bring you current points of interest about the travel industry, as well as information about travel destinations specific to a particular segment of travelers, as well as specific travel destinations that we're working on. So first, let's get to the industry news. Last week, we addressed traveling during uncertain times, and I wanted to follow up on that. To follow up on what I call the elephant in the room, the Iran war. We see that we thought it would stop and we thought it would be over and life would be back to normal, but it hasn't. And we also are looking at higher prices in fuel. So therefore, the airline industry is kind of catching up to the airline industry more and more each day because airlines purchase their fuel in advance. So they can kind of ride the tide for a week or two, but then after that, they've got to stabilize and then adapt to what's happening in the market. But what we're seeing is that in spite of all that's going on, people continue to travel, believe it or not. They choose to either go by air or they go by car, or maybe they even choose train. But at the end of the day, people are still traveling. And what's really happening is the fact that they are changing their travel destination. So maybe someplace closer and not further out, or maybe they're going for shorter periods of time. So, as I said last week, continue to travel, but be safe in doing so. You will see that the international travel has shifted a little bit people are still traveling internationally, but they're definitely choosing substitute destinations that are not in any type of harm's way relative to what's going on in the Iran and the Israel, region of the world. The other thing that I also mentioned last week, and I'm going to continue to stress this, because airports are busy. And that's the fact that if you don't have it, you need to really get your pre TSA clearance. And if you plan on traveling internationally, you also want to have the global access. You can get both of them packaged together. That's my recommendation. But global access takes a little longer than the pre TSA portion of it as well. Okay. I'm kind of going through my notes here so I don't miss anything. And then lastly, I wanted to remind the listeners that to use our services, there's no cost to you. We use vendors and suppliers that cover that cost, if you will. And so it's typically the price that you would pay if you were to go on some search engine, but you're going to get our end-to-end wraparound customer services. So you can use whoever you like, but when you are traveling and you have an issue that we can help you with related to your travel, then you want to be able to have someone call, and we are those people for you to call. So at RCR Global World, we strive to provide unique destinations, unique to you, of course, that are safe and are affordable. So on to travel, finally. Last week, we focused on travelers that were traveling alone. And in theory, you can always travel in a group, but you still decide to go by yourself. And that is fine because people are really into the adventure of new places and new people. And we talked about places as Las Vegas and New York City and some of the, areas on the beach, and, on the coast area, anywhere from Maine to Florida. And that's great. But this week, I want to focus a little bit on families. We're coming to the end of a school year, depending upon where you live. And it's really time to start planning for that summer vacation. So, Cam, if you can roll the family segment, and then I'll come back and explain some things to you about that.
Sure will. We're going to run that clip
As
now.
the school year winds down, it's time to begin planning the family summer vacation. Whether you're thinking about a trip to Disney or a sun-filled vacation in Mexico, RCR Global World Travel can help create unforgettable memories with family-friendly destinations, flexible pricing, and stress-free planning. From beach resorts to cultural escapes, we make summer travel easy and affordable for every generation. Call us today at 1-833-477-7477.
There you go.
Okie dokie. So thanks for that. So as I said, we're about the middle of April. Yes, a lot of families are just returning from their spring break vacation, but many families are also thinking about, what do I do with the kids in the summertime? That is probably the parents' greatest nightmares. 2 months, or what do I do with the kids? And then you want to reward the children as well as yourselves and take a family vacation. I think it's great. I began traveling with my children when they were just infants, and they say to me many, many years later, Mom, thank you for the gift to travel, because they continue to travel and they do so with their children and their families as well. Some of the locations that we talked about last week, and I'm speaking specifically here in the United States, depending upon where you live, on the East Coast, on the West Coast, anywhere in between, are really within driving distance. And I think more and more families are getting back on the road. If you have 3 or 4 children in your family, that might mean 6 people and 6 tickets. And even with the lowest cost air carriers, that kind of adds up. Yes, gas is going up as well, but if you've got a safe vehicle that can get you, back and forth, definitely consider driving to someplace local. And like local beaches and state parks and campgrounds and cities are full of museums. And if you live in the Washington, D.C. area, I say that's a great family vacation. If you can drive there, all of their museums. And so people are familiar with the word the Smithsonian. Well, the Smithsonian is not a single building. It is a collection of museums, and all of the museums, and even if you want to go out to the Arlington Cemetery, to do a tour in the DC area, all of those cultural things are free. So, if you can take a day trip, great. But if you take a more extended trip, it's a drive and maybe it's a couple of nights hotel. And yes, you do have to eat, but it's a superb family trip. And then it's like, it's a part of history and your children are learning something. And you as parents get to relearn or relive part of your history as well. And then, of course, top of the list is Disney, and we kind of saw that in the video a second ago. Whether or not you're considering the Florida side or the California side, everyone wants to go to see the house. And Disney knows that, right? But I caution families to plan their great vacation for Disney well in advance. I mean, I can't tell you, there are families that literally plan and save up for a Disney vacation for 2 and 3 years. It can be expensive. I'll be really honest about that. I went to Disney for the first time. It's probably now almost 50 years ago. And I don't recall it being any more than $10 a day. And I don't even want to tell you what it is now, but it definitely is over $100. And you're going to spend probably 4 to 5 days going through a park or the parks, So you want to plan that in advance, and hotels fill up quickly. You can probably book your airline reservation about a year in advance if the airlines have published their schedules. Many of them do. And then some of them do it on a quarterly basis. So you just need to kind of watch that because the hotels will fill up quickly. You're going to find the planes are always crowded. If you fly into Orlando, that airport, oh my God, you never saw so many Mickey Mouse ears in your life. And the lines to get through TSA are extremely long. Another reason that you need to have your pre-TSA clearance. The lines will also be long in the park. So you want to get to the park early. You want to do the back of the park first and then kind of come forward and, spend your time there wisely. And then you always have Universal, Busch Gardens, Knott's Berry Farm if you're on the California side. There's always Cedar Point in the middle. You got all the different Six Flags. I mean, there's so many options in terms of what you can do here domestically. And we at RCR can help you and your family plan the vacation based upon the attractions that you want to see, and then kind of work around that area because you don't have to spend your entire vacation in one single place. Okay, in terms of national parks, there's Yellowstone, there's the Grand Canyon, there's the Great Smoky Mountains, just to name a few, but there are also some really nice regional parks. Bear Lake in Utah, the Redwoods in California, Starved Rock in Illinois, and I live in the Midwest, and that's a really, really nice park. And then there's Hocking Hill State Park in Ohio, Franconia State Park in New Hampshire, and Amacola Falls Park in Georgia. And I try to give you an assortment of national as well as regional because sometimes we overlook what's right in our backyard. And we're like, oh, I'm not going there. I live right here. Well, that's the reason to go because you actually live right there in the state. So if you haven't thought about it and I haven't given you enough options to what are you going to do this summer, here's a video to make you think about it. So Cam, if you can play, what do you want? Where do you want to go this summer?
I sure will. We'll roll that for you right now.
Not sure where you want to go this summer? Why not consider Hilton Head Island Beach, Hampton, Virginia Beach, Myrtle Beach, Dollywood, the Great Smoky Mountain Water Park. An all-inclusive experience for couples and families are great consideration for summer getaways. Whether you fly or drive, no passport needed. Let us help plan your summer getaway. Call us today at 1-833-477-7477.
There you go. That looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's so many options. And I know that from time to time, I'll say people in general, not just families. We talked about singles last week and we talked about groups a little bit, but just people in general. We tend to think, I don't want to go on vacation until August. I want to be able to get through all the fun things that I'm planning for the summer, and then I'll plan something for later in the summer. But I have to tell you, this is the prime time to be planning for your summer vacation. Last week, I think I shared with you, if you are planning something domestically here in the United States, a minimum of 4 to 6 months, and then even more so on the 6 month side, you're going to get better inventory, and therefore you're also going to get better costs. And then if you're going internationally, you certainly would need a bit more time. And I definitely say planning in advance for an international trip, it really a year is a good look. Yes, you can certainly find package deals that are out there, last minute deals, either domestically or internationally. But in my opinion, every vacation requires some planning. And I know there are some people who, just fly by the seat of their pants. They just throw something in the suitcase and they go and they have a wonderful time. But I have to tell you, when you're going someplace that you have not been before, you will get so much more out of your vacation if you plan it in advance. All right. Now, I don't know if Cam, if your listeners are able to either click into the chat or able to call in, but I was just wondering. I've been talking for a little bit, so I didn't know if anyone had any questions, or maybe Cam, you had some question that I could address on behalf of the audience before I kind of share with you what we're planning here at RCR Global World.
Well, I will say that at this point they can call in and we can definitely patch them through. But they generally send chats in, and then we just connect with them that way. At
Okay.
this point, we've had some power outages lately, and during the power outage, our voice over IP phone system took a hit from electric. So right now, we're just going to let them shoot in emails to us, or they can call you there at the 833-477-7477. We should have our voice over IP back up next week sometime, and then we'll be good to go. And I see you got a couple of packages pulled up here. You got the New York to Bermuda and Majestic, Egypt, and I think Africa or Kenya, something like that, and on the exotic side coming up.
So
Other than
so let's go with the Bermuda cruise. Our packages, the ones that we have set, are really for the latter part of the year. And the reason why we do it that way is because the summer months are generally driven. Remember, I said earlier, most of our business is on demand based upon where people want to go. There are so many places that people opt to go to. It's really difficult to organize something that we can get sufficient numbers for people to go with us. Everyone has a different availability of time. And so we try to do the fall and the early, and I'll say early winter months, but not here in the United States, because prices tend to be a whole lot cheaper if people can go during those months. So Cam, if you would run the Bermuda cruise video, it does not have a voiceover, got nice music, and it's going to tell you a lot of information. And I'll go over that with you after Cam plays.
all right, Bermuda coming up. There we
Yeah.
go.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So our Bermuda cruise is on Virgin Air, and it's a great picture of the ship. It's an all adults only. So the adult age limit is 18 plus. And so you can go as a solo, you can go as a couple, you can go, two to a cabin, but all of our pricing It's based upon double occupancy. If you go by yourself, there will be a what we call single supplement, and we can work with you and discuss what that is. The dates are October 2nd through the 7th. So you've got 6 days, 5 nights, all inclusive. Of course, it's a cruise, but it covers your meals, your drinks, your entertainment. Double occupancy starts at $1,160. There is a non-refundable $200 deposit that is due by May 20th, and that holds your spot. I believe full payment, it's like July 1st because they typically have to be paid somewhere between 60 and 90 days. But we will confirm the full payment for you. We do accept partial payments. We help you with a payment plan. You can pay with, with your credit card. You can pay through PayPal. Those are the two major sources that we use for payment. And then, of course, you can sell us as a business. We do not do Cash App and or Venmo. All right. There are a few cabins left. So if you're interested in going with us, please, please, please check us out. Give us a call. As Cam said, you can just call us to kind of talk to us and tell us what you're thinking about and where you want to go. I know some, people will say from time to time, I would love to go to Bermuda, but I really can't go in October. Remember, we are an on-demand business, so you tell us when you want to go, and then we will do our best to find an affordable trip according to your budget to get you to the destination that you want to be. Okay? Our next trip is, I think we're up to Nairobi because by the dates, Nairobi or the Kenya trip would be next. So you can play that.
Let's roll it.
Discover the heart of Africa on an unforgettable 10 days, 9 nights in Nairobi, Kenya. Including a city tour in Nairobi, hike up Mount Kilimanjaro, a guided trek on Africa's highest peak, and relaxing beach days in Mombasa. Prices starting at $5,150. Flexible dates are available. From vibrant city life to breathtaking wildlife and sun-soaked beaches, this trip has it all. Call us today at 1-833-477-7477. Your adventure starts here.
That looked awesome.
Well, I have to tell you, I have not been to Kenya before, so I'm excited about going. The Kenya trip is, when it says flexible dates, it's flexible September and October. So that's what we have secured with the a vendor, whether or not we're doing, I'm going to say a double occupancy or a group up to, I think, 8. That's what we can accommodate. When we do these safari packages, we really like smaller groups. I think the groups get more out of it. I have not done Kenya, but I did a safari 3 or 4 years ago in South Africa. And oh my God, the animals are just breathtaking. When you are in that Jeep and they are literally walking beside you and walking in front of you, I'm like, how majestic. And it's just, I say it's definitely a bucket list for anyone, a safari. You just can't beat it. So our package is a 10-day, 9 nights and starting in Nairobi. And then you do a hike up Kilimanjaro. I've never done that before, so I'm excited about doing that. And then the last 3 days, we take some time to kind of recuperate from the rigors of the safari and going up Mount Kilimanjaro. And we do what we call beach days. And so we found a wonderful resort on Mombasa. It's on the Indian Ocean. I've seen the Gulf, I've seen the Caribbean, I've seen the Atlantic, and I've seen the Pacific, but I haven't seen the Indian Ocean. But the pictures are just absolutely gorgeous. Prices, including domestic and international fares on a double occupancy, are $5,150. Once again, solo will always require a supplement, and you let us know the dates that you want to go in the September-October timeframe. If those dates don't fit for you, we certainly can work with you in securing that trip when you would like to go. But please keep in mind, most people that want to go on the safari, the migration happens between August and October. So that time period is going to be about the same price, but that's when the animals move. and they start kind of like in Kenya, come down to Tanzania, then I'm thinking geographically. I don't have my map in front of me. Then they come down to South Africa and then they come back up again. So that's their migration. So you're always going to see animals. There's not like 10 animals and the 10 animals just move by themselves. No, there's thousands of animals and there's lots of reserves and sites to actually catch the animals. So that is, as I said, that's a must do in this lifetime and on the bucket list. I've done it in South Africa and I would absolutely do it again. And so the last trip that I want to share with you that we have put together for our listening audience and anyone else that would be interested is our trip to Egypt. And that happens in the end of October through the beginning November. So Cam, if you can play that, that would be great.
I've got the majestic Egypt ready to roll.
What if your next journey takes you to the heart of history? Explore the vibrant city of Cairo. Sail the legendary Nile in comfort and style. Walk through ancient wonders in Luxor. And unwind in the crystal clear waters of Hurghada. All-inclusive package with flights, hotels, cruise, and guided tours. Limited slots available. Book now at 1-833-477-7477 and experience Majestic Egypt.
There we go, majestic Egypt.
Okay, so very much like the Kenya trip, 10 days. You're gonna take in all the architecture and history of Cairo, and you're gonna go over to Luxor, and then you're gonna take a 4-day cruise down the Nile. And every day, as we're cruising down, we're gonna get off. We're gonna see the museums and the pyramids, and and all the majestic beauty. And then as we continue down, we kind of disembark and then we go over to Hurghada, another one of those relaxation type things. We really like, and we kind of understand with our travelers, they've done a lot to get to this point, right? We try not to cram everything into 5 or 7 days. I mean, very rarely when we're doing an international trip is it not more than 8 or 10 days. And that's why we do it, so that you can get where you're going, have a little relaxation. Your adrenaline's pumping, you want to see everything. You're going to take all of that in, and there's a bit of travel to get from point A to point B, but we want you to feel relaxed and recovered before you even get back home. Sometimes you'll say, I need a vacation from my vacation. Well, we hope we give you a vacation in your vacation so that when you get back home, you actually feel like, you've spent some time away and you were able to experience some things while at the same time enjoying yourself. So whether or not you're considering Bermuda, Kenya, and or Egypt, or any place in between, RCR Global World can help get you there. So give us a call, send us an email, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of the ads that we have run here appear on our social media. So if there's something that you missed, up here, Cam has our QR code. You can always use that to contact us and say, hey, I saw your ad on ABC. Can you give me a little bit more information? Please send us a valid phone number and a valid email. We always follow up with all of our contacts, but we can't contact if we don't have the accurate information. So next week, and just as a teaser, we're going to be looking at luxury travel. And when I think of luxury travel, I think of exotic places. And I also think of couples. Certainly you are, you can go anywhere you want to go, but I want to kind of share some things that we're not doing a luxury on this side right now, but certainly we do book these destinations for couples for the most part, and for some of us, for some of our travelers, not listeners, are they can pick a spot for a honeymoon. So that's the other thing you want to consider. Most people who are thinking about honeymoon places are like, wow, I want to go someplace that is just going to blow my mind. And so we like the opportunity to explore those destinations with you. Well, that's it for me, Cam. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Give us a call and happy travels.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robin James, the RCR Global World Travel. We will be back next Tuesday with Travel Tuesdays. In the meantime, call her anytime at the number on the screen. If you see this and it's not live, circulated throughout the social media, make sure you shoot us an email or a text on the messenger and let us know that you've seen it. And if you're interested in communicating either with Dr. Robin or myself, we are always available. And with that, we will say happy travels and see you next Tuesday.
See you next week.